Hello and welcome to this BB Education Cutter tutorial. This tutorial has been shortened as it is mostly used as a preview to advertise our online site available in the links below. All our education is about taking away the guesswork and explaining how we do what we do. Here you see we've got our mapping process. We're working with a C-curve, which means the crown section is lower than the front section. This is simply due to the fact that we want the veil, which is the top section, to have an equal effect around the head shape. If we worked with a horseshoe section here, it would undoubtedly uncover more of the back than it would the top. Starting from the centre back, we pull our sections out on a slight forward diagonal and we cut them vertically triangular. This means our section is going to be very slightly longer at the top of the section than it is at the bottom. All the sections are pulled back flat. This means I want you to imagine that there's a wall behind you and all the sections just being pulled flat to that. This means that if you check your section with a cross check, it should be getting longer towards behind the ear. All our sections will be working parallel from the vertical centre and we're working on a forward diagonal to help direct weight towards the front. All our sections will be over directed to the previous. This means by using over direction, section 2 will go to section 1, section 3 will go to section 2, and all the subsequent sections would follow the sequence. This means we're going to get a slow and consistent increase in length travelling forward. Right now, we're not worried about the outline of the haircut. We're simply looking at forming the technique, which is graduation. Be sure to always remove the previous section before continuing, as this will ensure you have consistency in your placement of your section. For the full length version of this tutorial, visit our site, which offers over 90 step-by-step cutting tutorials. With our subscription, you'll get immediate full access to over 90 haircutting tutorials. If you want more information, visit the link below. Notice we're always removing the previous section, so we've only ever got 2 sections in our hand at once. This ensures that I know exactly where to over direct my section to. This means I'm over directing section 6 onto the base of 5, but by removing the previous section I know exactly where 5 is. Notice also that the sections are being over directed flat back, ensuring we are getting a slow but consistent increase in length travelling forward. Now we're going to cross check our work, which is pulling the hair in the opposite direction. We've cut it, ensuring we check all the previous sections at once. Here we're looking for a flat line. As you can see, we've achieved it. We continue working now into the sides. It's important to stop every now and again and cross check your work to ensure that you are in fact with a strong technique and you are developing your shape in the correct way. So I do advise that after each, say 6 or 7 sections, you do cross check your work. Notice also that we're not cutting in here. Our finger angle is not really angling into the face, but it is actually working on a 4 diagonal section travelling forward. This ensures that the line is actually getting longer towards the front. So we're not actually angling our fingers down. We're angling our fingers, if you like, away from the front, which is giving us more length. If we angled in, all that would happen is we would cut the length off and we would build, if you like, an internal weight line, like a graduated bob. This shape is much flatter. As this particular section is working as an undercut, it is important that the weight is not too heavy, and it is important that there's a very soft outline to the haircut. So by keeping our fingers reasonably flat, we are in fact building a more softer shape. Whereas if we had a steeper angle to our fingers, we'll be increasing the rate in which we are building the weight and length vertically. This would give us a weight line. Here we have our shape. Remember, we've not cut the outline yet, we've simply built the technique of graduation. This is going to be working underneath the top veil. So this is acting as our soft shape. Now we're going to start the other side and work in exactly the same way. Remember, to get access to over 90 cutting tutorials, we have long hair, short hair, fundamental, classic, advanced, disconnection, a huge variety. If you are interested in a subscription, visit our site via the link below. Now we've completed both sides and we've got our balance, we're going to wrap dry the underneath. The reason we're drying now is it'd be very difficult to find these sections again. So we opt to dry the hair and complete the underneath to ensure we have our shape perfect. Using a razor, we're going to create our outline, working off a round line. This means the longest point is going to be at the jawline, it's going to be receding back towards the nape. We'll use two different methods of razoring. One is the surface cutting, which you can see I've just used there, which helps to taper the ends. The other is more just straight across tracking, which means we're going to be removing the length. We then use the scissors to personalise the length and to slice out to collapse the shape. We'll do the same on the other side. Using a razor offers us more softness and more texture, which is really working towards our own goals here, as we do want a textured haircut and not something that is too flat and classic. Throughout the back, we're just going to work with some parallel point cutting. By cutting quite deep into the hair, we can remove some of the bulk as well as removing some of the weight. Remember, the weight is on the outline of the haircut and we do want to keep some weight. If we remove too much of it, the haircut will lose its definition. Bulk is internal and weight is external. So the deeper you cut into the hair or the more you slice, the more you're going to be removing the bulk and not the weight. The weight is a massive part of what will give us definition. If the hair is too thin, you will lose a lot of the texture. Here we have the underneath completed. It looks soft and elegant, but you can still see it has a classic feel. Now we take down the top veil just from the crown area, and we're going to take this in a central vertical section. We're going to pull this section straight up parallel to the ceiling and just lift our knuckles slightly to increase a short to long distribution. How do you decide on the length? We simply look at the density of the hair, how much hair is in there, and how much layer the hair needs. The shorter we go, the more impact the layer will have. The longer we go, the more weight will be in the veil. So if the hair is really fine, you may want more length. If the hair is really thick, you may want to remove more hair. All the sections are taken parallel and vertical and are all over directed back into the middle. This ensures that we get a rapid increase of length towards the corners of our section. These sections are used to come and fill in underneath the undercut. So it's almost to disguise the fact there is an undercut there. The purpose of the undercut was to remove bulk and enhance texture. If we had connected this haircut into the top, we would have had to utilise a far different strategy with texturising to remove the bulk. We complete both sides by over-directing them both into the middle so we have our horizontal triangular shape. Now then, to choose the length, we pull our section out vertical, and again we work vertically triangular, which means our fingers should be pointing into the nape. This is helping us to keep length at the top and to taper into the nape slightly. So you decide on the length here again as well as a suitable amount to cover the actual undercut. If you don't want a huge contrast, you can choose to take away more hair. Here I didn't want there to be a huge contrast, so we are ensuring that we have a more balanced disconnection opposed to a heavy visual one. All the sections now are over-directed in the same way we did a moment ago. They're over-directed into the middle. So on both sides, the sections remain vertical and are over-directed into the middle. We're now going to cut the top. Taking flat sections, we're going to pull the section straight down using the length from the back as a guideline and use a razor to choose the desired length. We now bring all the subsequent sections down, working up to a parting and cut to this line here. This is ensuring that we can create some strength in the external shape. We're not looking necessarily to just hide the undercut, but to work in a cohesive nature with it. We're going to work through, razor this section so it sits harmoniously with the underneath. We complete this on both sides. Remember, to see the full-length version of this tutorial and to see a further 89 tutorials with new tutorials added weekly, visit the site on the link below. There you will get information on how to become a member of BB Education Online and start your self-education right away. All the sections now are lifted up on the vertical profile section. We pull the sections up, slightly over directing back and then slice a short to long distribution, giving us a softer gradient and increase in length travelling forward, but also blends in. We then take all the subsequent sections up into the middle and slice in the same way. Once complete, we then wrap dry the hair to get full control of the root area. And as you can see, the haircut doesn't really need much texturizing due to the fact that we've worked with practical disconnection to create our shape. We will go through and just do some final bits of refining to ensure our shape is cohesive and does blend visually. Just to finish with, use your hairdryer in a cool setting and loosen the shape, allowing the hair to breathe, and just check your form and your texture. And here we have our end result. We have a beautiful, soft, commercial, short, graduated bob shape utilizing practical disconnection to give a soft, romantic feel to our shape. Thank you for watching this tutorial. To view the full-length tutorial and a further 89 different cutting tutorials, visit the link below. Thanks for watching.